I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
There is a specific kind of silence that only happens at the very top of the heavyweight ladder. It's not the silence of an empty room. It's the heavy, suffocating quiet that follows a collision so violent it stops the heart of an entire stadium. For 5 rounds, the world watched a social media disruptor try to out-angle a mountain. But in the 6th, the mountain moved. When Anthony Joshua's right hand finally connected, it wasn't just a punch, it was a career-altering reality check. As the referee's count echoed through the arena, the bravado that built an empire was replaced by a clinical medical emergency.
My mom wanted me not to fight Anthony Joshua. I should have listened to my mom. My dad pushed me to this. Now I'm alone in the hospital. Got to eat liquid now. Anthony Joshua be ready for a rhythm.
The image of Jake Paul face down on the canvas is already etched into boxing history. But what happened in the minutes that followed is what has the entire community reeling. While the crowd roared for Joshua, a different story was unfolding in Paul's corner. There was no celebration of a moral victory or a good effort. Instead, there were trainers checking vitals with shaking hands and a medical team that looked genuinely concerned. The transition from a global spectacle to a life or death situation happened in a heartbeat. Joshua stood in the center of the ring, a cold reminder that while boxing is a business for some, it's a blood sport for others.
Congratulations on your win tonight in Miami.
So
How are you feeling right now?
Calm, chilled, good to get the win, but there's a lot I could have done better. So a bit of mixed emotion.
Like what?
Could have done a lot better. Cut the ring off. Maybe done what I done in the 6th, 3rd, 2nd, even in the 1st. But a win's a win, and that's why we're here talking now.
You talked about having the weight of the boxing world on your shoulders, and like the purists, right?
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that type of pressure when the media is so fickle? 1 minute they love you, 1 minute they hate you. Do you feel that even though you won tonight, you're still not going to be pleased?
So with the media, how I operate the media is you got negative and you got positive. So I do honestly focus on the positive. I don't really focus on the negative. And secondly, I just understand that while I'm in the hot seat, so let's say there's a seat, and right now I've elevated to that hot seat, I gotta take all the shit that comes with being in that hot seat, and then once I move on from that hot seat, no one's gonna care about me anyway. So I just gotta
That's not true.
It's true, it's how it goes. It's how it goes. So I know how it works. I understand the cycle. I'm currently in that motion. I'm dealing with some shit at the minute, but it won't last forever. Have some tough skin, and then in a couple of years, I'll be sitting back watching someone else deal with that shit.
Thank you,
Come on,
guys.
Chan, have some tough skin. You'll be alright.
All right.
Oh, good,
Well,
man.
thank you so much
Good
for your
to see you,
time.
Michelle.
Great to see you too.
Fight fans, God bless.
In the locker room, the energy shifted from shock to genuine fear. The rumors started circulating almost immediately. Talk of a career-ending injury, a total collapse of the jaw, and an emergency transport to the nearest trauma center. Joshua, known for his respectful demeanor, didn't hold back in his post-fight assessment. He admitted that while he respects anyone who steps into the ring, his natural instinct is to end the fight as violently as possible. He didn't just win a match, he dismantled a person. That killer instinct wasn't a metaphor, it was a physical reality that sent his opponent straight to a hospital bed before the post-fight press conference even began.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA. And I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already talked to is 4 to 6 weeks.
The true extent of the damage surfaced just hours later, and the visuals were nothing short of graphic. A double fracture, not a hairline crack or a minor break, but a complete structural failure of the jawbone. When the X-ray hit social media, the internet went into a frenzy. Seeing the metal and the displacement of the bone made one thing very clear. This wasn't a show anymore. This was the cost of trying to bridge the gap between influencer and elite heavyweight. The bravado remained, with Paul making wild claims about fighting again in 10 days. But the medical reality tells a much darker story of a long, painful road to recovery that might involve having his jaw wired shut for months.
According to Jake Paul, he stated he had to do surgeries. He broke his jaw on 2 different locations on both sides. He lost many teeth that he has to replace, or he replaced already. And after that, Jake called out Canelo. But he need to focus on Gervonta for real, because Canelo gonna do him dirty. With that being said, Jake said, quote, "Just got out of surgery. Everything went smooth. Thanks for all the love. A lot of pain and stiffness. Gotta eat liquid for 7 days, even on Christmas." So, to the amazing team of Miami University Hospital, everyone was so gracious and caring. Double broken jaw. Give me Canelo in 10 days. Jaw broken, heart and balls intact. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. Okay, now that's a smart thing to do because he did fight a super heavyweight in AJ. But I don't think it's going to be any sweeter at cruiserweight, but we'll see.
This brings us to the word everyone is whispering: retirement. The headlines are screaming it, and for a good reason. When a fighter sustains an injury this severe, the conversation naturally shifts to whether they should ever take a hit like that again. While the retirement claims are being used to drive clicks, the truth is found in the indefinite break Paul is now forced to take. You don't just bounce back from a shattered face, you have to wonder if the internal clock has finally run out. He spoke about being a disruptor and a kid with a big heart, but even the biggest heart can't pump through a broken jaw.
I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best. And I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up. And I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
Paul camp, the mood is predictably defensive. Logan Paul stepped into the role of the protective older brother, calling Jake a warrior and claiming his spirit can't be broken. But in the cold light of the boxing world, spirit doesn't win fights, skill and durability do. The influencer boxing bubble, which many thought was invincible, finally met a wall it couldn't talk its way through. Critics are pointing out that this was always the inevitable conclusion of matching a promotional genius against a seasoned, world-class knockout artist. It wasn't a matter of if this would happen, but when.
Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we don't want to look too far into the future. I know you said Jake wants a break. He's going through some, he's coming off a tough fight. But, I mean, like, it seems written on the wall that that would be an obvious fight to, look forward to in the future. Could you see Jake versus Francis Ngannou?
The whole situation with Francis was very confusing to me. And he's done a couple of interviews, back and forth on terms of how he thought about our conversation. I think Francis is a revolutionary when it comes to fight sports. He stood up against the UFC, showed what kind of man he is. And this process was just, again, a little bit confusing for me, given who I know who he is as a human being.
Adding another layer of chaos to the aftermath was the reaction from the Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury. Instead of acknowledging Joshua's dominant performance, Fury took the opportunity to stir the pot, mocking the victory and claiming he would have finished the job even faster.
I am him, the man. I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. 37-year-old at the end of his career, fighting a YouTuber, a Disney Channel guy, who Tommy B, and now he's talking about killing. and all that to try and sell.
Okay.
Please. Barking up the wrong tree, idiot. You're a classless loser coming off a 15 months knockout defeat to a local lad. Imagine if someone from Morecambe knocked me out. If I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you back out. You big bum, useless toss.
It's a classic move in the heavyweight chess game, but it highlights a strange truth. Jake Paul's loss somehow managed to accelerate the timeline for a Joshua Fury showdown. Even in defeat, Paul is still the catalyst for massive movement in the sport, though he's currently watching it all from a hospital room.
Fury, listen, we'll see you in September.
Is it realistic, you think? I mean, it's been like 7 years, right?
We'll get it. You'll get it. You'll get it this year.
Thanks, sir.
The business of pain is a lucrative one, and controversy equals commerce has always been the motto. Despite the medical trauma and the very real possibility that Paul's chin will never be the same, the talks of a rematch started before the blood was even cleaned off the canvas. There is a morbid curiosity in seeing how a person responds to this kind of offing of their career momentum. Will Jake return as a humbler version of himself, or will the delusion of grandeur take over once the painkillers wear off? The machine wants a comeback story, but the human body might have other plans.
Jake Paul didn't get in there to win last night. He got in there to survive. And he didn't do a better job of surviving. He sold the fight brilliantly. That's what he is. He's a salesman. And he's a YouTuber, influencer, call him whatever you want. So from that perspective, he did his job, but he never got in there to win. He just got in there to get beat up. I'm glad Anthony Joshua done a number on him. This is why boxers are boxers, YouTubers, whatever they want to call themselves, influencers, they should stay in their lane and fight people that they're supposed to fight on their level. This guy was never on Anthony Joshua's level, and Joshua did what he needed to do, did what he had to do for the sake of boxing, and blow this guy out and just knock him out.
What about the fact that Jake was able to land on him clean a couple of times? What did you make of that?
Oh, listen, you can't get into the water without getting hit. Fortunately for Joshua, that guy can't break an egg. So he was never in any danger. He's always going to get hit back. I mean, it was 6 rounds. Anthony Joshua was always going to take at least 1 or 2 shots over that 6-round period, but it was nothing to hurt him. It was nothing to bother him. And like I say, this is all about getting AJ's confidence back. If Jake Paul fights, if he fights KSI or KFC or whatever his name is, then those two are evenly matched, aren't they? They're evenly matched, and then they could fight, and then because they're evenly matched, they're both YouTubers, aren't they? They should get that on. I'd probably stay up and watch that.
That's the most funny gag you've ever.
What we saw wasn't just a knockout, it was a legacy check. Anthony Joshua proved that there are levels to this game that cannot be bypassed by marketing budgets or viral tweets. He showed that at the very top, the stakes are physical and permanent. On the other side, Jake Paul proved he has the courage to face the elite, but he may have paid a price that will haunt him for the rest of his life. The question isn't whether he can fight again, it's whether he should.
What did I just watch? All right, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight. I was hoping that I could at least give Jake credibility and saying, he took this challenge. Even if it's for a lot of money, he still had the guts to walk to the ring and all this stuff. So I was hoping, you're gonna get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. Guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds. Literally just run for. He was doing football jukes. You guys watched that fight? Ring was big. I made a freaking point about that ring being big, and he used it to his advantage in terms of survival in every way he could. I mean, this guy literally never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. Then notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down. Like he just hugged Anthony Joshua, and then would go down, and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break, and he would just kill time that way. Then he was completely angling off. He was completely blading his shoulder off completely to the point where he's so bladed off that he can't even punch. He was just trying to make himself as small of a target as possible. Now Anthony Joshua, people are gonna say, "Oh, why didn't Anthony Joshua catch up to him?" Because Anthony Joshua never had fast feet to begin with, and Anthony Joshua honestly should have probably cut off the ring a little bit better. That's my one critique of Joshua. He probably could have cut off the ring a little bit better. At a really Joshua's always never really had the best feet, but in terms of cutting off the ring, he could have at least done that. But honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 ring. That ring was huge. That ring was huge. I can't believe what I just watched, guys. I'm seriously, like, dude, that's it. That's it. This was AJ's chance. Could have went out on his shield and his chance to say, yeah, get the respect of the boxing community. This was the one that could have got him the respect of the boxing community. This was the one. He came out with all this rap crap and doing the Hulkamania crap and all that other stuff and all that stuff. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, is he that calm, or is he literally just setting up his own demise? I don't know. AJ came out to the ring really serious, you know, which would you expect? And then, I mean, he never fought. Jake never fought. Like, he never fought the whole fight.
As the dust settles, we're left with a haunting image of the sport's duality. On one side, a heavyweight champion calling out his greatest rival, his stock higher than ever. On the other, a young man who tried to conquer the world, now faced with the quiet reality of a liquid diet and a long look in the mirror. Ambition is a powerful thing, but it can also be a trap. Was the massive payday and the global attention worth a permanent structural change to his face? Some call it being a warrior, others call it a warning. Either way, the problem child has a problem he can't talk his way out of this time. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.